Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're going to talk about the HBO Watchmen series, a show that I really don't have a lot of interest in watching because it doesn't look anything like Watchmen. I don't know if it's a reboot. I don't know if it's a reimagining. I don't know if it's a sequel. I don't know. I watched the trailer and I was left scratching my head. I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? And apparently Alan Moore doesn't like it either. They've taken a lot of liberties with Watchmen. He's not happy, but when is Alan Moore happy? Alan Moore is never happy about anything, so who knows? But the theme of the Watchmen HBO series is going to be white supremacy. White supremacy. That's what we're gonna fight in the Watchmen HBO series. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're doing really well this month. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. We're growing tremendously, and I'm hoping to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. That would be awesome. I don't know if we can do it or not. I don't know if we can do it, but thank you so much for that. So this coming from Deadline. Watchmen confronts white supremacy without grandiose solutions, says Damon Lindelof, TCA. I think Lindelof wrote for Lost, and I know he did Prometheus and some other movies that were real head scratchers, and this Watchmen series looks like it's going to scratch a few heads. But it's going to deal with white supremacy. White supremacy. After dropping an Easter egg-rich new Watchmen trailer during the spotlight of Comic-Con, Damon Lindelof today tore right into the heart of the upcoming HBO series based on Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' classic late 80s comic. It was actually mid 80s, and Alan Moore hates it. What in 2019 is the equivalent of the nuclear standoff between the Americans and the Russians? The sometimes punchy Leftovers co-creator postulated during the Watchmen panel at TCA on Wednesday. It's race and the police, Lindelof said, answering his own question as star Regina King and executive producer-director Nicole Castle, both Leftovers alums, sat next to him on stage at the Beverly Hilton. There is no defeating white supremacy. It's not going away, Lindelof explained, of the hate groups that populate the 9-episode Watchmen. There are no easy answers and no grandiose solution, he added, noting that this was not going to play out like your standard superhero saga on the small or big screen. It looks really low budget compared to the movie. Set to debut in October, the Tulsa-based series focuses on King as a police officer in a world where cops wear masks. The Jeremy Irons portrayed Ozymandias is in seclusion, and a very liberal Robert Redford is the longest-serving president ever. There's no internet or smartphones, and a killer cult has grown up around the now-dead Rorschach. It's not supposed to be a world that you recognize to Trojan horse themes that are in a real world and a fictional one. So we're not pulling a Star Trek, I guess, Lindelof asserted of the show. What is actual history and what is alt history? And things start to get blended in the middle, keeping things circumspect. Lindelof fielded a lot of questions about Watchmen, the series, and how it connects to the classic. We're not going to mess with it. It's canon, he declared of the 12-issue run from 86 to 87. This feels like a half-assed sequel to me. I don't know. It looks like a half-assed sequel. I don't know if... I know they did the Watchmen sequel comics at DC. I didn't read any of them. I have no desire to read any of them. You don't mess with Watchmen, and this is really messing with Watchmen. However, Lindelof admitted his relationship with the notoriously prickly and private Moore has he kept to his long ago announced intention to have nothing to do with any adaptations of his work. As some may have noticed, Moore is not mentioned in any of HBO's press materials on the series, with only Gibbons noted as co-creator. Yeah, Alan Moore doesn't want anything to do with this. It's an ongoing wrestling match, Lindelof revealed candidly of feelings about Moore's feelings about Watchmen adaptations, yet linking Moore and his work to the DIY spirit of first-generation punk rock. Lindelof also said his attitude and the best spirit of V for Vendetta creator Moore is F you guys, I'm doing it anyway. So, F you Alan Moore, we're going to do this anyway, whether or not you want it. Whether or not the public actually wants a budget cut sequel to Watchmen. Set in America where superheroes are outlaws and the radiated Dr. Manhattan still lives on the moon. They made a big deal about him living on Mars in the trailer. The loaded cast of Watchmen includes King, Irons, Don Jensen, blah, 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 blah. Watchmen's produced for HBO. by White Rabbit and associated with Warner Brothers, and they're going to throw this shit on HBO Max, guarantee it, on the streaming service. So what's Alan Moore think? Well, Alan Moore doesn't like anything. He doesn't like anything. The other day, Alan Moore made the headlines for taking a jab at Comicsgate, and now people are going to piss on Alan Moore for not liking the Watchmen that deals with white supremacy. HBO knows Alan Moore isn't happy with Watchmen. Alan Moore has always made it known that he's opposed to adaptations of his work. HBO executives might have hoped to change his mind on the concept. Hell no, that's not going to happen. HBO programming president Casey Bloys has revealed that Moore's stance on adaptations of his work has not altered. When Bloys was asked in a Television Critics Association Q&A whether Moore had become more open to new adaptations, Bloys replied that Moore remains not thrilled about the concept and added that Moore would not be consulting on the show. That's not a good look. I mean, this is like his defining work, right? This is like his life's work, and he's like, yeah, hell no, I'm not having anything to do with it. While this news may not be surprising, it would have been interesting to see a version of Watchmen that Moore actively endorsed. Of course, Zack Snyder's film adaptation of Watchmen was announced. When it was announced, Moore famously declared that he increasingly feared that nothing good can come of almost any adaptation. Moore was also opposed to the previous films based on his work V for Vendetta and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, both of which took some liberties. So yeah, I mean, they know he's not happy about it, but they got this IP. They're absolutely gonna milk Watchmen. Yeah, I have no interest in this. And it's look, Watchmen has always been a pretty political comic, but you know, making it current year, I think it's going to be very dated in 10 years. This thing's not even going to, I mean, this thing is going to be a blip on the radar and disappear. I do not see this lasting, and I think it's going to be like, do you remember that one time they tried to reboot Watchmen? They tried to make a sequel to it on HBO, and it was terrible. Yeah, neither do we. So I don't have any interest in it. I don't want to see a sequel. I don't want to see a reboot. I don't want to see, this feels like a Disney cheapquel, like a direct-to-DVD sequel to a much better movie. And even the Watchmen movie kind of missed the mark in some places. So, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on them coming right out and saying that Watchmen is about white supremacy here in the U.S., in the alt history U.S.? You think it's a little too on the nose? I don't know. So please leave a comment. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We will talk to you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.